We are all aware of the warships of the world. Which one among those is the biggest of all? How is the interior of these battleships? In today's video, we will see the life and experiences inside the giant battleships of the world. Wait and watch the whole video to get all these questions answered. The Imperial Japanese Navy, or the IJN, had a class of battleships built for it soon before World War II, with YAMATO serving as the head vessel. YAMATO, which takes its name from a historical Japanese province, was created to compete with the United States, Japan's principal Pacific foe, and its numerically superior battleship fleet. When YAMATO was dispatched to confront American forces occupying the Philippines during the Battle of Leyte Gulf in October 1944, that was the only occasion she ever fired her main guns against enemy surface targets. In the Battle of Samar, they came upon a light escort carrier group of Task Force 77 of the U.S. Navy, TAFFY 3, and threatened to scuttle American troop transports. After being convinced by American airstrikes that they were up against a powerful U.S. carrier fleet, the Japanese turned around. In 1934, the Japanese renounced its contractual obligations and left the League of Nations. The Imperial Japanese Navy started developing the new YAMATO class of heavy battleships after leaving the Washington Naval Treaty, which restricted the size and capability of capital ships. When designing the 70,000-ton YAMATO-class ships, their designers considered that should war break out, Japan would not be able to match the production of American Navy shipyards. As a result, they ensured they would engage numerous enemy battleships at once. On November 4, 1937, the keel of YAMATO, the lead ship of the class, was put down at the Kure Naval Arsenal in Hiroshima in a dockyard that would be modified to fit her massive hull. A meter was added to the depth of the dock, and gantry cranes with a 350-ton lifting capacity were added. During construction, a canopy was built over a portion of the dry dock to hide the ship from view. On August 8, 1940, the YAMATO was launched under Captain MIYAZATO Shutoku, to prevent American intelligence officers from discovering the ship's existence and specs. Great care was taken in Japan to ensure that they were built in the strictest of secrecy. YAMATO's main turrets were operated by a fire control system that utilized rangefinders, electromechanical calculators, and a director that provided fire parameters. It was a cutting-edge system for its day because it made up for the absence of fire control radars for engaging surface targets with excellent salvo grouping. As a result, the Japanese Navy gained fire capabilities comparable to the best in the world. The ship's secondary battery consisted of two turrets with three 155mm guns each. Although the guns' rate of fire was somewhat moderate, they had good ballistic qualities and could cut through the armor of most cruisers. When it was first put into service, YAMATO possessed 8 triple-barreled 25mm cannons for short-range anti-aircraft artillery and 6 coaxial 127mm anti-aircraft guns for long-range combat. Throughout the conflict, the number of AA guns steadily increased. The firing range of the 25mm and 127mm anti-aircraft guns were varied. The result was that neither of the guns could successfully intercept an enemy aircraft if it flew into the gap. Additionally, the 127mm guns had subpar elevation and depression characteristics and a relatively slow traverse speed. Whether the elevation was high or low, they also failed to fire at the 14 rounds per minute advertised. YAMATO had the heaviest armor ever built for a ship, similar to the battleship Iowa in the US, and had armor that was 100mm thinner on average. The Japanese giant's armor belt created a citadel that spanned over half her waterline length. The conning tower of the ship was the most secure area. The weapon systems physically grew enormous. The Japanese constructed a super battleship similar to 10 or 15 other vessels combined. The issue, though, was that it did not succeed. Even if you make one YAMATO-class battleship, she would still be sunk by 2, 3, or 10 US battleships. Still present are qualities like mobility, quantity, quality, and salvos per side. Late in 1941, YAMATO was given her commission. YAMATO represented the Japanese combined fleet as the flagship during her first deployment, the Battle of Midway. YAMATO was only utilized as an HQ ship and did not fire a single shot during the conflict, which took place from June 4th to 6th, 1942. Conserving their two best battleships for a potential significant engagement with the US fleet, the Japanese military command did this. Japanese sailors began to feel let down by their flagship as a result. They even coined the expression, "The three most useless objects in the world are the Great Wall of China, the Pyramids of Giza, and the Yamato battleship." The carrier-borne aviation and later missile weapons represent a significant development. Yamato represents the pinnacle of battleship construction. It is about reaching the pinnacle, not about making progress. World War II made its way to Japan's home islands in 1945. Yamato, assisted by a light cruiser and 8 destroyers, was ordered to protect the island of Okinawa, stop the US soldiers from moving further inland, or fight to the bitter end and triumphantly complete her journey. Following this, the storied Japanese battleship set off for her final engagement on April 6, 1945. To intercept the Japanese Combined Fleet's flagship, the US launched Task Force 58. 227 aircrafts in total contributed to the defeat of the Japanese force. The combat kicked off. Yamato was struck by 4 aerial bombs, which destroyed a 127 mm gun and many automatic cannons. 2 more bombs and a torpedo were dropped on the battleship in only 22 minutes. Yamato responded by firing her anti-aircraft armaments. The final assault by the Americans on the injured, but still combat-capable, Yamato began. 4 torpedoes obliterated the ship's damage control center. 3 torpedoed to the port side and 1 to the starboard side during the demonstration execution. Yamato halted its motion and began to inch closer to port with each passing minute, and a massive explosion occurred when this enormous ship flipped over. The Japanese fleet lost its dignity and hope. The leaders of the Japanese force and the ship, along with 3,000 other crew members, perished. Yamato, who died in battle like a genuine samurai, is still revered by the Japanese as a representation of their country's greatness. A museum with a 26-meter-long replica of the fabled battleship Yamato as its centerpiece opened in the city where it was constructed. 10 years ago, the Kure Municipal Museum of Naval History and Science was established to preserve the city's rich naval heritage, and its current name is Yamato Museum. The display depicts Kure's maritime history or the development of naval science and technology. The museum is now significantly well-liked. From throughout the nation, battleship enthusiasts visit this location. We must keep in mind, though, that it was initially intended for shipbuilding of all kinds. Her primary battery magazines were the ones that exploded violently, completing the destruction of Yamato. However, there is still disagreement regarding what caused that enormous explosion. The answer is probably at the bottom of the water because researchers have been unable to lift what is still attached to the vast warship. Yamato did indeed have several flaws, like her sister ship, Musashi. The battleship was sunk by airstrikes. The leading cause was the ship's inability to fend off powerful air attacks. With that, we've come to the end of today's video. Hope you gained more knowledge about the giant battleship in this world and the life inside such a massive battleship. And if you like this video, do share it and subscribe to our channel for more informative videos. Also tap on that bell icon for more notifications.